In addition to alerts, we also have traffic logs that we can use for monitoring what's going on within CAS. And these traffic logs will contain security information, and that security information could be about the network as well as about the cloud apps that we've created. We also need to figure out how we're going to upload the content into these logs. And there are two upload feature methods. The first one is called snapshot reports. This is non-continuous. So periodically, we're going to go out and take a snapshot of the data that's available to us. And we also have an automatic log upload, which automates the upload of this information, which provides a continuous upload of this data instead of you having to do a snapshot and manually upload them. So snapshot reports are non-continuous and more of a manual effort, where the automatic upload are continuous and more of an automated method. Let's go back out to our CAS dashboard and explore how we configure these CAS traffic logs. We are on the dashboard of the interface for the Cloud App Security, and there are a few different ways to create a Cloud Discovery Report, specifically the snapshot. I can go to the top center here and click Create a Cloud Discovery Report, and this brings me into the interface for creating a new Cloud Discovery Snapshot Report. Let me go back to the dashboard by hitting the back arrow. And on the menu on the left-hand side, there's a Discover option, and you can create a snapshot report from within here as well. Same interface once you get to this screen. Let me go back to the dashboard. And the third way is to go to the cog in the top right-hand side and go to Settings. And inside Settings, under Cloud Discovery, you have your snapshot reports and you have your continuous reports. I'm going to click on the snapshot reports again. And then here's where your snapshot reports would be stored. And if I want to create a new snapshot report, I go to the right and click Create Snapshot Report. And this is our third entry point for creating a snapshot report. Let me go back. And down here is our fourth entry point. Create snapshot report right in the middle of the page. So 4 different entry points for creating a snapshot report. We're going to come in here, we're going to go through the steps necessary to create a snapshot report. We'll give it a name called Snapshot Demo Report. Description is optional. So we're now going to go into our data source, and we'll click here, and you can see we have a plethora of options within here. We have the Barracuda options, we have Blue Coat, Checkpoint, Cisco, Forest Point, Digital Arts, Dell, Juniper, McAfee, Microsoft, as well as some generic ones. So options galore when you get in here. Let's go up to Cisco, and we'll grab a Cisco ASA firewall. It's giving us some potential issues you need to be aware of. Verify your log format. This data source may contain partial information. We're okay with that. And then you can see down here, we can anonymize the private information by encrypting the usernames. I'm not too concerned about that for here. And then what we do is click the Browse option and browse to the directory that contains these log files that we want to import. However, I don't have any log files, so there's nothing for me to browse to. But after we completed the browsing, we could click Create, and we would create our snapshot report. Let's take a look at what this may look like. I'm going to click View Sample Report, and you can see it's got quite a few graphics on there. It's got the apps, the users, the IPs, the traffic. So there's a ton of information on these snapshot reports. But as I mentioned, it's kind of a manual effort for us to create snapshot reports. So let's look at another way to do this. Let's hit the back arrow. We'll go back to our gear and then Settings. And then on the left-hand side, what we're going to do this time is we're going to go to Continuous Reports. And of course, I don't have any in here, but I can click the Create Report option on the right, or I can click the Create Continuous Report in the middle. It'll bring me to the same interface. So we will call this Continuous Data Report. Any comments we want to add, we could add those comments here. And then we specify our data sources, whether it be all data sources or a specific data source. I'm going to leave it at all data sources. Next are our filters. We can filter, say, on user group. We'll select a user group, and we'll just grab the external users as a user group, just to show you that we can specify a group. And optionally, we can specify the IP address tags as well as an IP address range. Because they're checkboxes, we can choose multiple items here. And then we can simply click Create. And at this point, we've created a continuous report. Let's go to the automatic log upload. And you're going to see here we have an option for performing automatic log uploads instead of those manual uploads. And we begin by adding a data source. And we'll call this Cisco Data. And we'll choose our source from the Cisco firewall. The receiver type will be FTP. We can add a comment up in the top right-hand side. We can also encrypt the usernames. I'm simply going to click Add, and we've added our new data source. Now we need to go to our log collectors. And once we're in log collectors, there's not one available yet, so we'll add a new log collector. Call this Cisco Log Collector. It would specify azmtp.com. And then our data source would be that Cisco data we had just created previously. We'll update this. And it says next steps, follow deployment guide to install the log collector on your host. On the hosting machine, import the collector configuration using this ginormous name. And then configure exports from the data sources in your network to the log collector according to the following and specifying that Cisco data source that we created previously. So I'll go ahead and click close. I'll copy this and I'll close here. You'll see now it's indicating we have our log collector and we also have our data source. The information we copied to our clipboard would be used for creating the import configuration on the host machine. So these are the steps necessary for creating a snapshot report, non-continuous, more of a manual effort, and the steps for creating a continuous report, as well as the steps necessary to configure automatic log upload to avoid the need to perform manual uploads of your log files. So in this module, we focused on monitoring cloud app security. We talked about the real-time or near real-time cloud app security alerts that you have to monitor pretty continuously. And we talked about a couple different traffic logs that we could create, one being continuous, one being snapshot, and we want to take advantage of the automatic uploads of those log files. Next up, we're going to look at a course review on implementing cloud app security in Microsoft 365.